And now, and we've arrived at the end of the Problem Child trilogy, or as the Blu-ray pack of the free movies calls it, Problem Child, a Troublesome trilogy. So I guess we'll call it the...
So there's an official trilogy.
Yeah, basically I've looked into it in between commentaries. Turns out this movie was indeed released on Blu-ray, Jova, but only on Denmark.
I guess the Dutch really like this.
Well, yeah, this movie was very popular in Europe, so that makes sense.
That explains why even Wikipedia apparently didn't have a record of its Blu-ray release. Like, Denmark is, like, kind of... Oh, I don't want to say off the grid.
Java, I think South Park put it best. They're the Canada of Europe. So...
Yeah. They're not even a real country anyway.
No, but apparently this is also very cleaned up footage that we have here because...
Well, the version we have today, the version we're using here is a digital copy, not a Blu-ray copy, because the Blu-ray will only release in 2021, August 2021, only like 2 years ago at the time of recording this. So...
And let me guess, there's only a digital release because Universal realized, wait, we have Problem Child Trilogy? Well, let's clean it up and put it on Peacock.
Yeah, it says right here on Wikipedia that Universal never had intentions to release the film on home video or DVD in North America, but it did have a VHS and DVD release in Europe. So basically, if you want a physical copy of this movie, you have to import if you're American.
I will say, again, until apparently now, Pedro, what is this very copy we're looking at?
It's a digital copy, and for whatever reason, the copy that I got for everybody else has a Showtime trailer for a movie. I think it's a movie with John C. Reilly in it, but whatever. The point is, it's kind of hard to find that
original.
I think it's on Peacock, but don't quote me on that. The point is, everybody, this movie is a bit harder to come by compared to the other two because... while this movie is apparently popular in Europe, clearly, America basically apparently doesn't give a shit because this movie basically has gone aside from TV airings, this movie has yet to be re-released in America, apparently, from what I
mean, I don't know if it's America not caring or, again, the studios... I have to wonder. Were the studios embarrassed by this movie? Like, granted, this movie's nature, in a sense, confuses me. Like, similar to the Child's Play reboot, which didn't really have any reason not to continue. Like, it made money and was not hated, but never got a sequel. Problem Child 2, from what I can garner and from what Pedro has told me, while it did make less money than the first one, it wasn't like it was hated, so... Why did they go the direct-to-television route with this one?
I think it's more so because, Joe, I get the feel. While I don't have an actual statement from them to prove this, I get the feeling the creators and writers saw the second movie as the end, especially when you take into account how conclusive it feels, and they just walked away because to them this was the end, and they wanted to move on to other projects and that's why we didn't get a sequel right away. However, my guess is, Jova, because this movie was very successful on home, the first two movies were very successful on home video and on TV reruns. That's why we got a third movie 4 years later. Yeah, this movie only came out 4 years after the second one, by the way.
Also, Jova, you're talking about the same company which last year we discovered outsourced to Fox and Saban, the Casper prequel, direct-to-video prequels, with the intent of them banking on the home video in order to make an actual theatrical sequel, despite the fact that it did not pay off in the slightest. My point is, they probably did not know what they were doing.
Yeah.
So okay, I usually try to give some people the benefit of the doubt that companies are usually doing what they do to make money. In a sense, this decision confuses me, but hey, maybe it was a success in the media market. But apparently this movie wasn't enough of a success for them to continue making movies, though they did make a cartoon.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was part of the plan.
No, the cartoon was completely, was more like something that was made to cash in on the popularity of these movies. So yeah, because Larry and Scott didn't write this one was written by Michael Hitchcock, who's mostly been an actor over the years, but he also dabbled in writing for TV here and there, from what I'm seeing here. And that's basically it, really. basically, Shiro, by this point, a lot of the actors didn't return. I mean, Gilbert Gottfried and Jack Warden, aka the grandfather, returned. And as well as Murphy, aka the bully from the previous movie. But Junior got recast, Ben got recast. So yeah, I'll let you guys. I personally think the new actors do a good job. Because, like I said, I actually do still really enjoy this movie. I don't really like the elephant in the room that it has to basically, pretend Trixie that doesn't exist and Annie doesn't exist apparently now because, I really like those characters. So what the hell?
I guess we can wait to see how this movie tackles.
I'm guessing that because this is a TV budget movie, they couldn't have too big of a cast, maybe, so they couldn't recast those two characters. But I don't know. Like, I still think you could have come up with some kind of creative solution for that. Like, I don't know. But whatever. I still think this movie's good, really good. If you can get over that, this is still a really good Problem Child movie that ticks all the boxes. Don't get me wrong. This is still a really good follow-up. It's just that there's that elephant in the room that not a lot of people can get over, and I don't blame them because if you're a fan of the second movie like I am, it can be difficult to overcome that. Anyway, all right, everybody. So start before the Universal logo. You already know how this goes. It's the same. I think it's still the '90s Universal logo from the second movie. I think.
I think this one's the current one.
Yeah, because this copy. Well, the point is that after that Universal logo, the movie starts. So there's not too much of a difference. Go ahead, Pedro.
3, 2, 1, click.
I would like to thank Universal for digitally remastering this very obscure movie of an already obscure trilogy. It's kind of like Jova when Disney Plus launched. One of the main selling points that all the people like me were interested in is actually to have an HD, complete, proper release version of season 3 of Gargoyles. Because at that point, it had only like a few of them in DVD. It was pretty cool.
So in this movie, Justin Chapman plays. The junior. He was a child actor for a brief period, much like Michael Oliver, and nowadays he's a journalist.
Voice-wise, he sounds close enough, I guess.
I wonder why.
Wait, why is he portraying himself with the bow tie again? I thought he ditched that in the first movie.
Yeah, I mean, I get that the bow tie was an iconic look of him in the first movie, but guys, you are aware of why he's.
Oh my god, it's the same thought process of the Silent Hill, sequels having Pyramid Head in it because of iconography.
Wait, hold on. So he has the bow tie back for no reason, but he is still in Morphville from the second movie, but with a completely different teacher than he had in the second movie.
I'm Miss Trenchbull. What are you doing here?
Mm-hmm. It's actually not the same actress who plays Miss Trunchbull, I think. I don't think so, anyway.
Yeah, I'm also saying that you can tell that...
Let me see.
What year was Matilda released?
Somewhere in the 90s, I forgot.
I think someone saw the trailer and saw it was, Mr. Potato Head.
Matilda was released in 1996, a year after this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's actually interesting, I guess.
No, she was not Miss Trunchbull. No, I just checked her bio.
Her outfit is just like a yellow version of
And there you go. See, Murph is still played by the same actor, at least.
With a Charlie Brown shirt.
Kudos to the guy coming back. At least. Thought he was actually, ironically, a good student in the second movie.
I will give them this. They did find a kid who looks the part. I mean, he's no...
The color seems slightly different, though.
And the freckles are definitely a lot more noticeable. Though, okay, I'll give him credit. He does look like, similar enough to Michael Oliver's.
Mm-hmm.
However, I will say this. He looks younger. Like, I feel like if anything, they should have gone for making him older. Also, apparently he gets bad grades again, even though in the second movie he was actually, again, from what we saw, doing relatively fine in his studies despite being bumped up to 6th grade.
Yeah. It's like I said, Jova, they still have this school be Mortville Elementary, the school that they move into in the first. But most of what happened in the second movie is basically ignored.
So let me see if I get this straight. What we have is the movie regressing to a lot of the things from the first movie, but still keeping details from the second movie.
Don't ask me, I don't got a clue. Anyway, logic of Tom and Jerry cartoons, don't fail me now. That being said, yeah, this movie still operates like a 90s cartoon. So there you go.
Oh dear.
Oh, why do we have coral snakes in the class as pets?
For this
Like
particular...
having hamsters and stuff makes sense, but the poor snakes.
I understand like an iguana or something, but why coral snakes specifically? Oh, of course.
Well, she's dead.
Now remember, Joe, we're cartoon logic. Nobody dies in this movie. They just get really big boo-boos.
They just need to put an ice pack on that. There's no broken bones or anything.
And we also have a new mix of Bat to the Bone. And yes, Ben in this movie is played by William Catt.
At least it's not Steve Gutenberg.
Okay, yeah, now the dad looks very different.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like Mark Zuckerberg mixed with someone else.
Elon Musk.
No, that's too
Jesus.
obvious.
Imagine the love child of Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg together at last.
This actor has much less of a punchable face.
That is true.
If it helps you, Chiro, I will argue he still plays the part well. He's no John Ritter, but yeah, they could have gotten a better replacement maybe, but I think they could also have gotten worse. I think it's he's a serviceable Ben, in my opinion.
Also,
Alright.
Interesting placement of the credits out of nowhere.
Oh, the Dr. Peabody?
Yeah, that's Gilbert Gottfried's character.
Pedro
No,
mentioned that he keeps
I get
changing
that, but he's a
profession.
doctor this time.
That's because he's a dentist in this movie, Jova. In every the joke, Job, is that in every movie he has a different career, basically.
Not the Ford. Oh, Rorschach.
Oh, I had to really love this gag actually.
Oh, they actually got him a therapist.
There you go,
Guess
Shiro.
that
Finally.
Ford wasn't very focused, huh?
There you go, Shiro. He's finally getting therapy. Another ink blot lady. I never got the point of this test, but whatever. I love the punchline though. Really?
Also, Big Bear plushie.
Yeah, so I will give it this. The writing still feels like I don't feel it's it's not quite on the level of Scott and Scott's writing, but I feel like they understand the basics of how Problem Child is supposed to work.
I might as well ask the obvious question. Why? Why make a sequel that ignores elements of 2, but still technically has some of the plot progressions from 2? Why bring back elements from the first movie that were written out for a reason?
I have a theory, if you don't mind.
Go on.
Because Simpson was popular, so the idea of instead having continuity to instead having a formulaic, episodic kind of nature maybe was something the studio wanted to bank on for a direct-to-video set of movies. In which the status quo gets resetted by the end.
I guess the thing is, unlike Simpsons, Problem Child didn't necessarily have a status quo. For as iconic as the bow tie was, it wasn't like it was an adaptation of a series where the bow tie was supposed to be iconic, and it had been gone since the second movie. So, again, if this were, say, something based off of a series of Problem Child, I could get that. But in this case, I don't get it.
Okay, so to recap, basically she was suggesting get him involved in some activities with his peers. Sports, cotillion, as in dancing with girls, and Junior doesn't want to dance with girls because they have cooties. So...
Jesus.
So again, the overall dynamic between the two is still intact. So I can tell that the writer, at the very least, understood the basics of it at least. But yeah, Joe, we're starting to see why there are a good number of fans who usually like to just think of it as a duology and pretend this one doesn't exist.
Discontinuity.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, look, like, even if this is good in and of itself, when a series... Oh, okay, look. If Problem Child 2 were hated, I could totally get why this is ignoring it, but Problem Child 2 didn't really show any big reason to be hated or to pretend like elements of it didn't exist. And the thing is, it's not even like this movie fully commits to that, because it still has elements from Problem Child 2. And, like, okay, if you want to have it be that we're back to the status quo, at least explain why. Like, where are Trixie and her mother? And in fact, I guess Big Ben is, Wait, does Lawanda...
No, Lawanda also disappeared. Big Ben is single again now for some reason. And he's rich again, by the way. He's not broke anymore. Don't ask me.
For some reason.
Personally, I'm going to make this easy and pretend that this is an AU where the wedding at the end didn't happen.
That being said, I do like that joke that just happened. Like, okay, you know what? Never mind. Son, you're free to do what you want. Really? No! And then you turn to try. So like I said, and you'll be able to see, the jokes are still funny, and that's the main reason I come into these movies anyway. So I can still enjoy it for what it is. That being said, if you're someone who can't get over that and doesn't like the movie because of that, I can understand.
I'll give this movie one credit. A lot of times when something goes direct to video at being a sequel to a theatrical movie, it looks a lot cheaper. This at least does seem like it has similar enough production values to
what
the
washed up actress did they got for these?
This was another 90s cliche. Let me see. Who plays her?
Cheeks aggressively, those cheeks.
I'm trying to find Alan Albertini Dow. Let me see.
Man, Junior's become a lot more aggressive to his dad lately. And that's saying something, given the what? Oh my
And
god.
now, ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason why this movie has a subtitle, and it's called Junior in Love. This is Junior having his first crush.
Wait, this one has a subtitle?
The movie itself doesn't have a subtitle, Jova, but usually when you see the VHS and Blu-ray releases, they usually call it Problem Child 3 Junior in Love. In fact, the name, if you take a look at the name of the file you're playing, it's right there as well. So.
Also, I don't know if it's a running gag, but that girl looks like a blatant Trixie clone.
Oh, she was in Sister Act 2. Okay.
The girl?
No, the old lady. Oh, too. She was also Aggie Kennedy in Patch Adams.
Yeah, I might remember her from that.
The point is, she's been in roles. That's the basic gist of it.
She's the spaghetti lady. That's what she was.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, I remember. You don't want to know.
But that being said, I find this particularly interesting. Like the idea that Murphy and Junior now are in more well-speaking terms. That's kind of
enough, I suppose.
I'm guessing Murphy after that would never mess with Junior ever again. Anyway, Tiffany, aka the girl Junior likes, has 3 suitors. Corky McCollum, who's an actor, Blade, who's a hockey player, and Duke, who's a Scouts kid.
Okay, that first kid is probably a parody of Macaulay Culkin based off of the name.
Probably.
Well, basically,
yeah.
Of course she's called Bertha.
And by the way, Bertha's played by the same actor who plays Murphy.
Yeah.
Get it? Because Universal and Jurassic Park.
And murder the competition.
So basically, this is called Pilgrim Child Problem Child Edition.
I was wondering. But yeah, no, like, that girl suspiciously reminds me of Trixie. Like,
a downgraded discount version of that. I think Trixie appearance-wise was a better idea as a potential of interest for Junior.
I guess, they couldn't have been love interests since they were going to become brothers and sisters.
I make a good argument in saying why they it wasn't really needed. But in terms of appearance of a character, she seemed to match more the Carol Brady attitude. This one seems to be going more classic Princess Peach in terms of appearance.
Well, Theo, keep that in mind for when we get to the end of the movie, then.
Sure.
But yeah, I find it suspicious. So we write Trixie out of the series and then bring in another blonde preteen girl to be Junior's love interest. I wonder. Okay, how brave are these kids to be messing with the problem child?
Well, one of them is a scout. They're full of themselves.
So what were you saying about the McKinley Culkin XP earlier, Theo?
No, I was saying only to the appearance of the girl, not to the others.
Yep.
What kind of accent is she going for?
I don't know.
Atlantic?
I mean, you're the American Jova. You probably are the best to recognize it.
So guess what, Shiro? Junior finally found a girl that he doesn't want to torment.
What a novel concept.
Well, Shiro, what do you think of Theo's statement that Tiffany doesn't seem to really match Junior as a love interest? What do you think? Because she's the typical, nice Princess Peach type girl. So.
I mean, we don't know too much about her yet, but if she really is like that, I don't get it.
I was mostly talking in terms of appearance. Unless they wanted to go for a case of opposites attract, I get the idea she did the types of appearance, feels not. What the fuck?
It's him imagining. Well, it's
electric chair.
Well, I mean, Theo, this is pretty much on brand. Let's face it. I mean.
Okay, I get it, but the other movies did not establish the Doug-esque fantasy sequences.
I mean, to be fair, in the last movie, he had a science project where he demonstrated the serial killer getting, death by electric chair. So it was kind of there.
It's not. My point is not necessarily about the content that he showed, the idea of how it's presented.
I don't mind him imagining ways for them to go down, especially since this is his first time being in love, so... I could imagine stuff like this goes through the kid's head a lot.
Yeah, that feels pretty on brand to me.
Here we go again. Hey, the twins!
Oh, goodness.
I guess there was a cameo.
Yep. All right, and now time for the Gilbert Gottfried. Because this is, of all the three movies, this is actually the one that has the most Gilbert Gottfried in it. So there is that.
Wow, turns out that an apple a day
doesn't Peabody is now a dentist.
Oh,
this guy lives to torment kids, doesn't he?
To be fair,
he said that.
To be fair, you can kind of see this as a running gag. In every movie, Peabody has a new job. That I like that as a running gag, so I'm fine with this.
It's also I'm gonna test it on a base of, in terms of comparison with Steve Martin, Little Shop of Horrors, because he's kind of hard to top also.
There he is.
I gotta wonder who tormented him as a kid to make him want to take it out on other kids.
Well, I'm sure this is against some regulations.
Pretty much.
I love this bit.
Even the chair is shaped like that. I feel we just walked on a set of a Spy Kids movie.
This chair is absolutely hideous.
I mean, it's supposed to represent a human mouth, so yeah, it tracks.
I mean, if it doesn't cause trauma, I don't know what will.
Cheap.
Nah, bitch, give me the free lolly.
Also, he has the comedian's badge from Watchmen? What?
What, the button?
No, the badge, look at that. It's the one with the smear on it from
Yeah.
Watchmen.
So I'm guessing
This time the comic was fairly obscure.
I'm guessing the director was a fan, maybe? I don't know.
I wonder if this implies that he's gotten child's blood on him. And he's found a nurse who loves to torment kids just as much as he does.
This truly is a Silent Hill movie. We kind of already went through this, so. Oh, I thought he was saying patriotism.
Yeah, this feels, again, pretty on brand for Peabody, so...
You know, he seems to give all his patients braces. Oversized braces from what we've seen.
If there's one thing in this trilogy that is consistently awesome, it's Gilbert Gottfried.
Of course.
I mean, this is America. Ask father for money.
Very good,
Yeah.
very good, Shirai.
That's a low of $1 million.
And yeah, and much like Gilbert Gottfried, Jack Warden is once again great in this movie because, in fact, this is actually my favorite Big Ben, like my favorite movie when it comes to Big Ben, particularly.
What are you doing?
I'm pretty sure
he's about to explain.
What is he doing?
There you go, sure. Boxing is a great way to stay in shape.
I mean, I understand that. Pretty sure Shadow the Hedgehog would approve too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is a bit of another character flop since at this point Ben should want nothing to do with his dad whatsoever.
Not to mention, even regardless of that, Java, it should feel more in control of his life and, not feeling awkward in talking with his father.
Not only that, but I feel like at this point the dad should have caught on to the point that Peabody is absolutely swindling the hell out of him. Not to mention the fact that I think even he's called out Peabody for being a scumbag at this point. Oh, the dog's back. That's nice.
So yeah, you'll get the $5,000, but only if you manage to knock me out.
You have to earn them.
He should love this. More like he dumped his wife in the end.
He's just saying it to aggravate him, I think, because he's trying to get him to hit him. So
I'm starting to understand. It feels really like the makers of this did watch the first two movies, but maybe only on a superficial kind of level, or a checklist kind of level, and decided to construct a story based on some of the key elements from that.
I will say this, character-wise, Ben should be all for getting to beat his old man up, because he absolutely hates him. Wait, is that dog just supposed to be a statue?
I think it's the prop that they used in the second movie.
Yeah, it's the prop.
To represent...
it's meant to be an Easter egg, Jove, I'm guessing.
Really? You absolute idiot.
Oof.
Caramba indeed.
So I'm guessing an arc will be Ben learning to stand up to his father again? Okay, yeah. I think I'm gonna have to agree with Tio. It does feel like at points... Okay, I wonder if their idea was overall, hey, let's take what we think are the most popular elements from across the trilogy and stick them in this movie. Rhyme or reason be damned.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the frustrating thing is, they could easily explain some of these changes. Like, it's a comedy series. You don't have to go as hard on explaining stuff, but at least explain it. Like, just say, oh, it didn't work out between Ben and Annie.
Wow, these vows are shit. Sorry, Jova, I had to.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah.
Unless if the statement of you dumped your wife is meant to say that, which would be kind of even worse.
Yeah.
Because that would mean he's divorced twice, damn it.
Yeah, like, I get the feeling that probably would be even worse if they tried to actually genuinely say, oh, don't you see, he left Annie and Trixie. That would be such a big dump on the second movie.
Again, it's kind of like what happens between Aliens and Alien 3.
Oh, God. It's just... And you know, the thing is, I know that it's not the worst thing, but man, it's an annoying thing because the second movie actually paid good mind to continuity overall.
Mm-hmm. It was written by the same writers, Jova, so, yeah.
Well, okay. Even if it's not the same writers, it is not hard to just make a sequel continuity-wise to the first two movies. Like, they're not... highbrow art that has an extreme lore that is hard to follow. It is incredibly simple. Either have the mother and Trixie there, or just say it didn't work, or God, imagine if they went morbid and say that they died or something.
That being said, Jova, I can tell you that they do fix a problem you've had with the previous two movies. They make sure that these three kids are super, like, dicks and really hateable so that it becomes satisfying when Junior takes them down. So
listen, like, you don't have to wear your scout uniform to school. You just wear it to the meetings.
Remember, Shiwei, cartoon logic. Don't you see? When you're a scout, you wear your scout outfit all the time. Don't you see that? Don't you know how that works?
It's supposed to represent, a younger version of the equivalent of a military.
Let me put it this way, Shiwei. It's like, let me put it this way. Yeah. Usually when you're watching a cartoon for kids, usually a character has an outfit that reflects what that kind of character he is. That's the same logic they're operating here. This movie is literally operating, once again, like a cartoon, basically.
Admittedly, the boy could have been coming from a scout meeting too when he wore that, so
there's that too.
There could be an in-reason.
I guess.
Not to mention, Shira, as you're going to find out in a moment, the Scoutmaster is his father. So...
Of course he is.
Oh, yeah. He has a fat ego. Revenge?
Oh, come on, Jova. Why would that be the case? Junior has never done anything for revenge. That's just ridiculous. Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed.
And guess what, too? We have our very own Karate Kid style bad guy in the Scoutsmaster.
Of course.
Make sure to pack holy water.
Basic detail, the Scouts Master is played by Sherman Howard, who you may remember as the police chief from American Tail 3.
Huh. Well, at least it's not putting a very awkward Irish accent in this. Of course.
Oh, we have a rebel here.
Right, we're off to a great start.
Oh.
Oh no.
That got pipes though.
True.
The fuck?
Hold on, Tim. Yep. Okay, fire starting, classic.
Oh no, what have you done?
He doesn't know yet.
That's okay, Joe, but Duke will supervise Junior.
What could possibly go wrong?
Pray that Duke comes back alive.
I love how Junior keeps calling him Dork, and his only reaction is, it's Duke, the name is Duke.
Like, that's the important part, I guess.
You're not very bright, are you, Duke?
He's the jock. He's good at action, not the best at thinking things through.
Ow.
Alright.
I mean, a tree, I guess.
And now, once again, this is another example of the cartoon logic. How the hell he was able to fit that in there, don't ask me.
Bag of holding. Very, very surprised they did not squeeze in, an Evil Dead 2 reference with that.
Actually, Scott.
That's how you get an infection.
Scott's
real men get bladder problems from holding
And
it in.
UTIs.
I love how they got
He has a chainsaw.
He has such a great punchable face. It's so great.
Oh god.
Ooh, a arrowhead. Sure, why not?
Timber. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Of
Dude, move.
course.
Classic.
Well, they may have to say die now.
Yeah, maybe. I also love, this is exactly how Junior would court a lady. Check this out. He opens her locker using a stethoscope, takes her notebook, and then goes to her, Hey, Tiffany, you dropped your notebook. It's a good thing I found it. Yep, this feels exactly how Junior would do it, yeah, actually.
Whoa.
Hey, Blade.
Ah, the cool kid.
You can tell because he has either a roller or skates.
Mm-hmm.
Rollers, okay. It's like a young version of Vanilla Ice.
Oh boy.
Okay, so she's just enjoying all these boys flirting with her because.
Should I put a pin on that for when we get to the ending?
Oh
Okay.
God, she's one. Oh God, she's toying with them, isn't she?
Sure. Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay. If you remember the first movie with the baseball, yeah, you probably already know where this is going. So. I can definitely tell you too that these people definitely watched the first movie at least because they do a good job replicating the baseball scene, but with hockey.
It's just weird because if they saw the first movie, they should know the reason he ditched the boat.
Yeah, trust me, Jova. I don't get it either.
Oh, he's not trapped in there with you. You're trapped in there with him.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the comedians bad before. Why not?
However, Jova, yeah, there you go. See, so as I get the feeling this is more. Okay, there you go. Well, Jova, I think you'll agree with me that these kids definitely are deserving what's coming to them later.
Oh yeah, they're definitely setting up for that.
Yeah. So, because one of your
Oh, what the hell?
yeah,
Why?
because they're assholes, shit, right?
No,
the
not
flashing.
that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Now, why was there a flashing sound, visual effect with that?
Yeah, I was wondering.
It's so weird.
Sorry.
Honestly, I was wondering if they were supposed to simulate lightning with it, but
I guess. Abraham
Because it
Lincoln.
had like the singular flashes each individual time they hit him, but then that last bit they decided to create seizures.
It's like I'm watching a bad episode of Goosebumps. What?
You're just pulling this out of your ass, aren't you, Ben?
let me check. No, Newt Rockney was an actual person. This is actually a true story he's telling.
Okay.
But I do like
American
Junior's
football
reaction.
player and coach at the University of
Yeah,
Notre
get to
Dame.
get to the point, Dad, please.
Dad, you should have read in between the lines on what he meant about no one else did.
It's like something that is suspicious.
Yeah, he meant that literally.
What? And he's accepting work from his dad again? Okay, the first movie especially made it a point that he was no longer working for his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, the continuity is definitely the biggest issue with this movie. I'm still having fun overall, but the continuity stuff is legit getting annoying, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, there's actually quite a lot of fans of the first two movies who can't get over that, Jova. As I'm sure you've already realized.
I can't even blame them because some story stuff literally only happens because they disqualify continuity from previous stuff. And, well, okay, Problem Child is not the series that set itself up to be, in its own separate world each time.
No.
Sarah.
This woman.
Yes. I mean, Sarah's okay as a love interest for Ben, but I prefer Annie.
Oh, we have another love interest.
Well, Annie doesn't exist anymore, Jova, so might as well. No, trust me, I agree. I prefer I prefer Annie too. That's the other thing, by the way. Amy Asbeck, she's outplayed by Amy Asbeck. as well. So you think that? I mean, I'm guessing maybe they couldn't get Amy Asmack back, but it would have been so cool to have Amy play this character too, for the sake of that would have been such a great running gag. Go on.
Also, the fact that the previous movie established that the place where they moved in, was as mentioned the capital of
divorcees.
Divorces. So that would mean that I theoretically should still have a lot of people pining for him.
Okay. The reason I was confused about Sarah was that I legit forgot she was the therapist from the start of the movie. I'll admit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the first time we've seen her since the start of the movie.
To be fair, there actually is a subplot between these two. To be fair, forgot the movie, so it's not like. I mean, I prefer Annie as a proper love interest for Ben, but well, what can we do?
We'll see how Sarah does.
I do like the comedic aspect of how this ends up, at least, so there is that. And you'll see.
Although, this does beg the question, does Big Ben now have a house close to Mortville? Because remember, he lived in Cold River Cold.
Jova, you're gonna turn yourself into a knot with the continuity questions at this point. Trust me. At this point, it's just like every answer to your questions, Jova, is just because.
I mean, at this rate, they would have been better off just making this a reboot instead of the prequel.
Yeah,
I guess that's what they intended to do, a soft reboot.
It doesn't even feel like a soft reboot because, again, it flubs so much of the continuity.
I know that it's not too much of an apt comparison, but I'm kind of reminded of the Fred movie trilogy. That kind of also has similar problems.
So yeah, basically, Grandpa was looking for some booze, and Junior tricked him, and now he locked them in there. There you go.
I thought the gag was that there was a ramp of stairs up to the basement. He was gonna be pushed down there.
Man, okay, it's okay. Harry Potter went through this too. It should be fine.
Just take a nap for a while.
I don't think Harry Potter got cemented into the wall.
Wait, sealing the door. Oh god, he's gonna die in there.
No, Sheila. I believe it or not, Sheila, Big Ben makes it out of this. And it's actually pretty funny. Again, I love these cartoons, so I do like what they're going with this. Trust me, it's funny. That's the main reason why I still tolerate this movie. It is still funny, so there is that, and that's the most important thing.
Give Jack Warden credit; he's definitely a good sport in these movies.
Oh no, Jack Warden is great in these movies, all three of them.
It absolutely is.
Dating your son's therapist, that's
I mean, does if it's just the son's therapist, does it still count as that?
It's being close to, potentially too much close and feeling compromised to that. Yes.
I mean, if the two can separate personal life from work life, it can work just fine.
It's not that simple, Pedro.
They would definitely have. Okay. The thing is, it's similar to nepotism. Even if a relative is in.
Hello?
You'll see, Shira. Hold on.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Her ex, yes.
Are those bullets?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a bandolier.
Yes.
Huh. Because I don't know what those things are called, so.
Oh, so the Scoutmaster is also an incel. Fantastic.
Incel may not be the proper term, but he is dressed up like a terrorist for some reason.
The psychiatrist is apparently his ex, and he tells that we're still in love. Yes, Jova. I know exactly what term I used.
It's it's like those videos you see of these people going into Target with rifles on their back.
I love this bit actually.
It's like, please don't.
Yeah, didn't we used to have a closet?
Was this painting always here?
There we go. And of course it's the painting of a dog playing poker.
He has literally sealed him into the wall.
Of the bust in the background.
Sorry, Shiroi.
Wait, what did they say?
He was saying he's done the best job, Mr. Healy. A clean mouth is a happy mouth. I like everybody's teeth except for the British. I hate the British. Have you seen a British teeth and shit like that?
It's a common national stereotype. So.
Yeah, it's one I'm familiar with. That's waiting room music. Oh no.
It's the dance program. Yeah.
All right, so this is Corky McCollum, aka the Macaulay Culkin XP, and this is, in my opinion, the most hateable, punchable of the three rivals. Like
really?
they no, trust me, sure. He's the rich, snooty kid.
He even wears the sweater around the neck like you see a lot of those rich kids do.
Yeah. See, look at his face. Look at his face. Like, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
He even looks like Macaulay Culkin. Like,
I get the feeling that was intentional. Yeah.
I do know that, say what you will about the kid, but yeah, Macaulay Culkin was like the de facto child.
Let's pop onto him and laugh. Even the old lady is doing it.
Okay then.
Oh yeah, I love this commercial here.
Oh yeah, definitely a Macaulay Culkin prestige.
Yeah.
Because Macaulay Culkin was everywhere. I wasn't even born. Oh wait, no. Actually, I was alive at this time, but like,
you were just born at this point in time.
But yeah, like I've had enough of a look back to know that Macaulay Culkin was,
he was
the child actor.
Yeah, he was. Simpsons reference.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you, Ben? Are you?
He probably is not.
Ben, when people usually talk about your child about the birds and the bees, I don't think they meant it literally.
He's padding. It's the lead-in.
Oh yeah, it happened. It happened to me too. Yes.
Oh yeah, you can catch a lot going on.
I love it so much. I love it so much. I went for Grandpa's bottom drawer. I know all about that stuff.
Okay, not only that.
Oh god. Yes, you're.
Not only that. Could we talk about the continuity thing real quick?
Go on.
Go on.
This is the child, like, they're having this talk about the birds and the bees, but this is the same child that filmed their babysitter boinking and projected it for the entire neighborhood to see.
Yep.
Sure, we're
Okay, that's actually
He knows what the birds and the bees are, okay?
But Tio, how can we pretend that the second movie doesn't exist if we are literally taking elements from the second movie?
It's particularly, Joe, because from what I've been able to gather, most fans cite the second movie as their favorite, and that's why. This bit here.
Yes, I saw Evil Dead. Oh no.
The grandpa had to tunnel his
How?
Wait, how long was he in there? He has a full-on beard.
No one knows and no one says, Jova.
Oh,
Peter Pan tryouts, but the music would not crack.
So yeah, basically
Okay.
we're doing Peter
To be fair,
Pan
she
the
was-
musical.
To be fair, the girl was probably just doing a dance recital for her audition.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Proof
it's
of
a thing.
concept. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no.
You see what I mean, sure, about that kid being the most punchable of the three?
Get off the stage.
Literally.
No sense of bias whatsoever here.
How much is his father paying you?
Okay. To be fair, he's a big child star. I wouldn't be surprised if she's biased even without the money.
And Tiffany will be Wendy, of course.
Wow, that's a step down from playing the tree.
Yeah.
Damn. You're not gonna bring down the curtain on his life in general?
I mean,
for-
those are old model made of asbestos, I guess.
Alright, so now let's actually take a look at Corky more in depth. And guess what, Shira? He even has a stiff upper lip British butler.
What, did he bring her for a game of polo?
No, he's gonna have her watch how good he is at riding horses. I'm not kidding. This isn't even a date. He just wants her to take a look at how awesome he is. See?
Well, that's why I asked if he brought
Okay.
her for polo.
Sure. Can you help me there? He just said, Rupert, don't just stand there like the English fop that you are. What is that?
Why do you call him a fop?
No, I'm serious. What is that?
I'm not sure exactly what it means either. I know it's an insult, but I don't know what it means.
I'm pretty sure fop just means fool. Oh, let's see. Fop.
Don't they use fop in Ace Attorney as well? Like, doesn't...
Yeah. Oh, there it is. A man who is concerned with his clothes and appearance in an effective and excessive way. A dandy.
Okay, then.
Okay. Oh, God, Junior, what are you going to do?
Scare a horse. They're scared of everything.
Listen to this, Shuri.
I mean, that's actually not a bad analyzation of the Peter Pan story.
Hold on.
Junior, what are you doing?
Oh my God!
Even Junior agrees about the show.
Shuri? Shuri? I am completely of the belief that hitting children is a bad thing and should never be done under any circumstances.
Yes.
That being said, you have no idea how hard it is for me right now to be trying to resist myself to want to break that rule right now.
I really do have to wonder what was the casting call. We need a clone.
See, you see what I mean?
Oh.
You see what I mean about this kid being the most hateable of the three? This kid is just one of those kids you just want. Oh my God, I want to punch you so bad, but I can't.
I hope that horse runs. Also, if you're that good at riding horses, you should be able to learn how to mount one without doing that.
I see your call, Pedro, but I relaunch with Snips. I still think Snips is unbeatable.
Well, obviously, Teo Snips beat Trumps all. But here's the thing, Teo. I don't think it's a fair comparison because Snips is meant to be the annoyingly endearing type of character. You can tell that's what the writers are going for, even though they've suck at it. Whereas this kid, you can tell the writers want you to hate this kid. Like,
which, to be fair, does set him up as a foil to be taken down.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Snip's Tale, you can tell that the writers don't want you to hate him. That's why it fails. This is different, where you can tell the writers want you to hate this character. So,
which is why there isn't a problem with you saying that you hate this particular child, because generally you're not a child hater, but if you are online enough and you see people who actually hate children, they're very weird people.
Let me put it like this. Kids can be characters just as much as adult characters.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
I love how the butler smiled when that kid...
Oh, man. I was hoping he would break his back or something. God damn it.
I honestly thought...
I love it. Rupert, I'm wet! And the butler briefly laughs. There you go.
I think a better punchline would have been falling into manure.
Now remember, Tale TV airing, so I guess they can't be as gross out as last time, like I mentioned to you.
Didn't it happen in the... Okay, that was theatrical, because it happened in the under One Dalmatian, Jesus!
Okay, if there's one thing about this movie that's definitely great, it's the fact that it has the most Gilbert Gottfried. Like, that alone makes it worth watching.
You're supposed to give him, like, numbing stuff first.
Apparently, he only gave laughing gas, which is antiquated at best. Yes, Jova?
Anyway, I'll admit, I honestly thought that the kid's leg was going to get broken or something from a horse accident.
Put a pin on that for now, Jova.
Of course.
This chair is the worst thing in this movie.
Like I said, more Gilbert Gottfried is always a good thing in my eyes, so...
Getting an idea there, Junior?
That reminds me, Shu, I don't think I've ever asked you this. Like, what aside from Iago, do you have any other familiarity with Gilbert Gottfried's work?
I probably do, but I can't think at the top of my head right now because he's usually characters like that. So,
well, what's your take of what's your take of his character in this trilogy?
It's great.
Oh yeah.
I've said this off commentary, but I don't think I've ever said it on commentary. The fact that we don't have his full reading of 50 Shades is a crime.
I know, right?
Because, like, I would never read that book on my own time or even listen to it, but if he narrated it, I would.
Look, Shiroi, as someone who actually read the book, let me tell you this. If you and Alice get together and just, laugh read, I mean, not so much hate read, more like laugh read the book, it's hilarious. Trust me, it's hilarious. I assure you that. Trust me, that's one of the big reasons why I hate the movie so much, because if the movie actually... I love this bit.
Yep, definitely seeing the inspiration from Jigsaw.
Oh, ow.
How did he even lift the guy up there? Does Junior have super strength? Granted, he did.
I mean, in the second movie, he taped that big bully to the wall.
Yeah. Again, Jova, cartoon logic. Just roll with it.
Sarah.
Tell her that her ex is stalking her so she won't think that you're insane.
He's actually about to tell her, so...
Oh, thank God.
Obviously, it's Mr. Shakedown.
Wow, that's petty.
Yeah. Well, like she said, she low self-esteem checks out.
You seem way too okay with this lady.
I mean, she is holding a baseball bat.
Yeah.
I know it's plastic.
Hey, and she just said, this time he's gone too far, I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind and shit. Sure, why not?
Oh, what changed your mind this time? Okay, how did you go from I'm not interested to
Well, to be fair,
flirtatious?
well, okay. To be fair, she didn't necessarily. Well, she wasn't necessarily disinterested. It's more so that the fact that she wasn't sure about it, but maybe she's changed her mind. I mean,
I still understand that it's it's a bit of a 180 all of a sudden.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, like, I mean, last time she was saying, I'm just not really in the time for a relationship. Like, at least with Annie, I could get the transition, especially since Junior and Trixie kind of helped get them together more so. But here it's just, no, I'm not interested, to suddenly, oh, now I am interested. Again, it sadly brings back one of the issues I had from the original movie where stuff happened just because they needed it to.
Oh no. Oh well.
Look forward to seeing how that plot thread gets wrapped up.
it will.
I love that probably because we did not have, potentially the rights anymore to Battle the Bone, the version that they're having is basically inverted keys.
Yeah.
Okay, seriously, this kid is like the Hulk or something with how strong he is.
Mm-hmm.
So you have trouble lifting that, but you had no trouble lifting grown men.
Contextual cartoon logic, Jova, once again.
Yeah, okay, that I'm fine with.
Also, there's it's the kind of suspension of disbelief similar to how in some slashers, a killer would be able to insta-kill the red shirts, but when you come to the main characters, they get tossed out of a window and they're fine.
I will give him credit. The lengths he goes to take down each of these boys.
Sure, why not?
Hey, were there explosives in that head, or has he just gotten that powerful from training?
They can both be true.
EBZ logic, of course.
And now, let's make a change to Blade's mask. Power glue.
Yes. Damn. So, okay. Again, I will give the movies this. For as much of a jackass as the grandfather is, a lot of times he does have good reason to be rooting against Junior. Like, this time Junior literally walled him in with concrete. He could have died.
I do love the bit like hope your dad knows a good bone specialist.
Ooh. That's another team of boys he has hospitalized.
Mm-hmm. Java, let's talk about the super strength argument you were making.
This is a better game than I thought.
Yeah. Let's talk about the super strength aspect, Java, as you're about to see. Hold on.
Oh my god. Blade, run.
Runner.
I love how he's trying to call for a timeout. Oh no.
And now, Java, check this out.
Yeah, I saw Captain Tsubasa.
Sure, why not?
Well, it's okay. He sent him right to the
I
hospital.
love how he just fell into a convenient ambulance that had its doors open.
It's like one of a stage transition from Injustice.
Your next show, boy. Jesus Christ. He's working his way down the list.
Yes.
Boy.
Get it? It's the opposite of what
You know,
happened
Java,
before.
what's up with movies from 1995 where the kid wants to listen to rock and the dad just turns it off? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Goofy movie.
So incredible that
Seriously.
things changed thanks to the movie The Fanatic, in which the father encourages the son to listen. Probably because, the director was actually part of a movie.
It's interesting. It's interesting because both Goofy movie and this movie came out in the same year, so I guess 1995, this was the 1995 cliche, I guess.
Could just be a coincidence.
I think it was more spread out as a thing of the 90s.
The two generations clashing.
I actually do like this moment between the two of them, actually. Because I do like this bit. Yeah. This feels again on brand with Ben. So yeah.
Let's be honest, Ben. You have given 110% to being the best dad you could be, given the circumstances.
All right, hold on, let me just recap quickly for Shiroi. Basically, Shiroi, he just had a really nice moment between these two where, look, I wish my dad had been as hard on you, as hard on me as I am on you. At least he would have showed he would cared about me, and stuff like that. And, he's talking about how, like, he's trying his... I'm sorry, son, but it's just like when I see, like... basically, it's a really nice father-son moment between the two of them, so...
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if potentially a better idea for a third movie might have been a prequel that talked about Ben Jr. having to deal with his father, but it probably wouldn't have fit as much to the title because we know that Ben wasn't really a troublemaker unless they retcon it big time. So probably more, unnecessary troubles.
I actually like this bit here, the front Sarah, in a moment.
The police are a thing, lady.
Jova, this is the 90s, restrictive orders for people being stalked are clearly not...
Except we just had Junior talk about how the judge put a restraining order on him for a motivation we haven't...
Yeah. Parents do want to capture the best moments of their children like that.
I'm particularly looking forward to this one because I want to see this kid go down so bad.
Which makes me wonder. I wonder if this is the climax we're headed towards.
No, remember there's still Duke after this.
Well, true. Yeah, that was actually his dad he dealt with. Which is weird. I honestly thought that the Macaulay Culkin XP was going to be like the final boss.
It's because they have something a bit more grander in scale for the climax compared to this, Joe. But you'll see.
They get this budget for a school play.
Some schools do be all about that.
I love that his suit even has glitters on it.
The sequins.
Okay.
Babe? That's not something Peter Pan would say. But who wrote this play?
This isn't the Can I Keep You shit.
I'm sorry, Jova, as a big Peter Pan fan, what do you think of the idea of Peter Pan calling Wendy babe?
But I do get the feeling that they made some alterations for this kid, probably on his means of courting Tiffany.
Great. So one more reason for me to hate him. Okay.
Literally.
It's all part of the show. Oh no.
You know, like Big Ben would say, this is a better play than I thought.
Oh no.
All right, I'll drop it.
Let go. Okay.
Okay.
Don't mind if I do.
So there you go, Jova. There's the broken leg.
Oh.
Yeah, that's just overkill.
People nearly dying. Heal me.
It's okay, they're fine. Remember, cartoons.
Remember that one of my favorite jokes from George of the Jungle, Shiroi? Don't worry, nobody dies in this story. They just get really big boo-boos.
Also, did we get teleported into the 50s?
Well, I've seen dinos like this in Seinfeld. This is common in America, so.
Yeah, like we have plenty of diners that like to reminisce and.
Oh, the aesthetic, yeah, but I thought they started appearing only in the early 2000s for the sake of the nostalgia, not in the 90s.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had those in the 90s too.
I feel like in terms of outside of America, themed diners were more popular in the 2000s, but because they are a very American thing, I wouldn't be surprised if they were already there.
Yeah.
And yet the movie is clearly painting you as such.
I think it's her ex that's painting her as such.
Well, no, not the movie, because it's just kind of the same. Again, the movie's not over yet, obviously, but it's kind of the same that's happening with Junior's crush.
You know, it would be funny if he's been going this whole movie hospitalizing these boys, and it turns out the girl was just terrible.
I said it before, like, she's enjoying the attention.
I love this bit here. Hold on.
I mean,
Yeah.
So the movie does poke fun at the ridiculousness of this scenario. So there is that. I don't think the movie is legitimately saying that you should treat women as trophies. I don't think that's the intent of the writers, honestly.
compared to the previous two, I think it's still a bit of a step down.
Oh no, it is. This is I mean,
I can definitely.
everybody agrees this is the worst movie of the trilogy too.
I was talking on specifically that aspect. Like, look how Trixie and her mother actually were behaved in, you know.
Oh sure, no, trust me. The second movie is my favorite too. Trust me, I'm with you there. That being said, so yeah, Junior of course prepared some
help.
Okay, I need to check the
mouse traps.
Oh,
Sure.
Oh, Jesus.
that could legit break some toes if you hit it the wrong way.
David Michael Frank. We're learning already. Jesus.
If anything, the mouse traps help them get through there faster. Oh.
Who's a crybaby now?
You'd think they'd be wearing boots that would, like, prevent that kind of pain, considering the activities they're doing.
Again, cartoon logic.
All right, now we're actually almost to a point where we're going to get a joke that is surprisingly adult and risque for what's supposed to be a TV kids movie.
I mean, not this where he is legit giving them deadly electric shocks.
I will argue this is more risque, but feel free to disagree. I guess I doubt that you'll do though.
Bad luck, eh?
What the?
Where did that come from?
He's psyche, I guess.
Wait, I wonder if that is legit what a working girl said to him at some point.
Think about it, Shirai. Somebody got that past the censors, the TV censors, will I remind you.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe they really didn't give a fuck.
Jesus.
That means I respect a movie that can get that past the censors, at least.
So even the hooker thinks he doesn't have guts, unless he paid her to say that because that's how he likes it.
No, Jova, let's think about
He
that.
was motivated to get up that wall, so yeah, maybe he has a degradation kink.
Well, think about it, Shirai. It's a hooker telling him he has no guts. You can tell what that means when he says that. When she says that. Sorry.
Also, anyway, yeah, I checked the composer. He's mostly a TV composer, and yeah, also the score is a step down. We're back to The Simpsons. It's not really great.
Well, this is a TV budget movie, so I can understand that he didn't have access to an orchestra. So,
Like I said, the overall feeling that I'm getting from this movie is like when watching, you know, a bad episode of Goosebumps where the monster doesn't even show up.
like, okay, I'll give them credit. I don't feel like the production values are visually that different from the cinematic movies.
Visually, the movie actually does look like it could be in theaters. I will say that.
Yeah.
All right, and now, Theo, we're gonna have what is, in my opinion, the best Jack Warden moment of the trilogy. Actually.
All right.
Goodbye.
Jesus.
Here we go.
Okay, so we can definitely confirm that he lives in Morpheus.
Wait for the punchline.
Junior.
Hold on.
Oh my God! Holy!
He's old enough. I guess it's a case of I'm gonna die anyway soon.
Well, I'll try anything once.
Might as well try to beat the people jerky.
That's why I still.
We need the freeze frame.
That's why I still enjoy the movie despite its problems. It's still funny. So.
I think the frustrating thing is it did not need to have these
Oh
problems.
no! Yeah.
A lot, and the thing is, okay, look, when it's a problem that, okay, I could see how it came to be easily, that's fair and fine. Oh, yeah.
There it is.
All hospitalized.
It's actually even better devil costume than the one in the first movie, admittedly.
And Corey has his entire body on a cast now.
Oh, just...
All right, Jova, now it's time for you to...
Nearly...
Let's go on.
Yeah?
It's time for you to pat yourself in the back.
Oh, God. He nearly killed these boys for her.
I will say, nice...
Makes you crazy.
I will say, however, nice callback to the first movie, at least.
Like you did not know. Like you did not know. Oh man, pretty.
Oh no.
Very good. There you go, Jova.
No.
You called it.
It's like that episode of Fairly Odd Parents where Trixie needs a compliment every 2 seconds.
So there you go, Shiwa. She does indeed like the attention.
So he hospitalized 3 boys for this girl, and this is what he gets. Is this supposed
He's
to be
never
some
falling in
weird-
love again.
Actually, Shiwa, hold on. So there you go, Teo. She's not meant to be a good match anyway. So...
I'm still mostly conflicted, but... I get what the movie's going for, but I get it, the disappointment. Jesus. She's also in a full casket.
Oh!
Oh.
Ow!
So she may never be able to speak again.
Yay!
Oh.
Cool. I never gonna guess.
Let's all point to her and laugh.
Was that kid having a Confederate outfit?
Yes.
What?
Well, it's a custom. Well, it's a custom party too.
Yeah, I guess for the 90s people were a bit too clueless on that.
I mean, Junior is dressed like the devil too. I mean,
There's a bit of a difference, Pedro.
I'll admit, this does feel like a stretched out TV episode, since it feels weird to center your whole movie around a love interest plot that effectively goes nowhere. Not to say that there's never been a movie plot like that, but it feels kind of weird to have all this big climax and everything over that, yet have it go nowhere. Well, okay, to be fair, it did go somewhere, it's just feels weird. But I guess to be fair, maybe it's also a showing of the signs that beauty can truly only be skin deep, and that you must truly find someone who loves you for who you are, rather than...
I do dig though Ben and the psychiatrist medieval style outfits though.
He looks like he's dressed like Da Vinci.
Because here the further lead is more of a French, I guess, outfit.
Oh, but Junior's all on his own.
Oh, but look at that.
Another redhead.
And she's dressed as a witch, which implies that she's probably also a troublemaker.
Oh, and she also has bracers. You got bracers, I got bracers too!
Gonna have cartoon logic where they get stuck together when they kiss.
Oh god.
Maybe it's best if we never know. He looks like John Arbuckle in that drawing.
Dare I ask if these characters come back in the TV series?
No, the TV series is basically... Okay, the characters have the same names, but they're completely different in the way they're drawn and written.
The way the movie...
Except for Peabody.
The way the movie stylized it really does make me wonder if this was yet another attempt at having a TV series that was reconverted in a movie.
It's possible.
Alright.
So yeah, that was Problem Child 3. For the record, just for perspective's sake, me and Deji also saw all 3 movies back to back, and Deji really enjoyed all 3 of them. In fact, I asked him for grades yesterday, so I could tell him here. He thinks all 3 movies are solid 8s out of 10.
That is actually very nice of him.
Well, that's the thing. Deji really enjoyed the comedy of this movie. Despite he told me that he's fine with the continuity issues because the movie's still funny. That's what he told me. All right, Jova. So I'm thinking I know exactly what you're going to say at this point because you've made your points very clear. But go ahead, final thoughts.
I can definitely see why this one would have gotten the most mixed reaction out of these movies. Again, not to act like the first 2 movies were highbrow art, but they were definitely high-scale comedies in that regard. That, again, they were simple, but what they did was what they excelled at, making you laugh. What helped was that there was still a strong sense of continuity between the 2 films, even down to the bit where they legit had casting gags, like Amy Asbeck playing the woman who breaks Ben's heart only to rekindle the love in his heart. Not really based off of this movie, but I digress. I do feel like most of these movies' problems start and end with the continuity. It does have some other original issues of its own here and there. Like, I'll admit, I did kind of find it weird how the love thing with Junior goes, since that's the main focus, but I guess he still gets a girlfriend, and I guess it's maybe, I suppose the lesson ideally would be that, you judge based off of appearances, and look what you got overall.
Yep, that's probably it.
Granted, the movie probably was not trying too heavy to tell a message, so I'm not going to go after it too heavy for that. That being said, okay, even ignoring the continuity issues, I do feel like this is easily the weakest of the trilogy. Now, I will give him credit. For the most part, it is satisfying to see a lot of the bad guys get their comeuppance here and there. And oh boy, the ways that the bad guys do get their comeuppance is certainly unique for each case. Let's see. Hung up by their braces, brutalized, hospitalized, sent straight to the ambulance and everything. Those three boys will never be able to sleep the right way again, probably, with how damaged they got. And it does, I will give it this. I do like how, once again, it's their own special take on tropes, like the school romance or the school rivalries, again, ramped up to 11 by Problem Child standards. And I guess Sarah is fine as a love interest. Like, she's no Annie. We have covered that well and good, but I'm fine with Sarah. Although I will admit, my issue is again similar to the first Problem Child film, wherein 1 minute she's like, oh, I'm not interested in Ben, to suddenly flirting with him. Like, yeah, I do have to agree with you that one was a 180, definitely. That being said, she's a fine enough love interest, gets some chemistry with Ben. But yeah, okay, might as well tackle the continuity issues, since the thing is, it'd be one thing if they were just simple continuity issues, but they also factor into the plot. Like, Ben not only, once again, being afraid of his father, even though he was pretty much the boss of his dad by the second movie, but now to the point where he goes back to working for him, which is like, no. And even worse, him actually buying into Peabody's nonsense after he called out Peabody for being a scumbag in the first movie, mind you. It's just... And the thing is, I don't get the rhyme or reason. Tio's theory might have some merit that they were trying to, like, be episodic, but I argue that doesn't make sense in the grand scheme, since, well, it wasn't like Problem Child had a status quo to go back to. Like, it wasn't based off of a series. The TV series came after the movies. And from what I've seen, it's not even like the kid wears a bow tie in the TV series either, so I have no idea what is going on here. That being said, I do also feel like some of the laughs... Okay, most of the laughs do hit. I do feel like... In a way, this movie does feel a bit sanitized in comparison to the previous ones, which, okay, to be fair, it's made for television, so that kind of comes with the territory that they were going to have to tone some stuff down. I'm not too bugged by it, since they did manage to get a lot of stuff past the radar still. And they did make good uses of Gilbert Gottfried and Jack Warden. Heck, ironically, old Jack, once again, I guess, ends up on the top. Like, it kind of is implied that he was willing to try and eat that kid and his dad, so... You are what you eat? But I digress. Problem Child 3 might be the weakest of a trilogy, but I can still say that I had fun with it. That said, why? Why did we have to have these continuity issues? Like, and these are blatant ones that could have easily have been circumvented with just a line or two each one. Like, maybe say Big Ben married Luanda, and then ironically she was the one who died, and that's why he's rich. And it would also explain why he's living in Mortville now, too. Like, say he inherited her mansion or whatnot, and that's why he's rich again. And again, as sad as it would have been with Annie, explain either it didn't work or Annie died. Although, then in regards to Trixie's absence, that might also be dark in that regard too. But again, to be fair, when has being dark ever scared away the Problem Child trilogy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's kind of implied that Flo from the original might very well be dead at this point.
Eaten by a pig.
Yeah, so, like, honestly, as mean as it would have been, even explaining that Annie and Trixie died would have made more sense than just not bringing them back at all. It really is weird how it goes here. Which, ironically, in some sense, does make Problem Child 3 quite possibly the most interesting for me to study, because it is weird, even by this film series' standards. It's a weird anomaly. One that I really just want to know how this came about and why it is the way that it is. Again, it is a shame that it's a step down from 2. And again, I typically think that, yeah, you didn't have the original writers, but that doesn't mean it was impossible for it to be on par, if not even better than the previous movie. But no, sadly it's a step down, and again, it's mainly for reasons that could have been so easily avoided. That is just what boggles my mind the most. But in the end of the day, the Problem Child trilogy as a whole, I have to say, it may be obscure and not as well known, but I'm happy that this trilogy exists. It's, I don't know if experimental is the best word, but it takes the risque properties of the 90s and attaches them to a trilogy that is indeed meant for kids and just takes the ball and runs with it. Holy cow. And what a job they did. What a job they did. I'm not too surprised we haven't gotten a reboot of this yet, but I'll admit, I could see there being there's an argument to be made for a reboot being made. Provided that reboot, of course, pays good respects to the original and doesn't try to sanitize it. Which, to be fair, in this day and age, we are seeing more risque stuff for kids again, so who knows? Maybe Universal might give the green light at some point to somebody willing. But overall, Problem Child trilogy, it was fun. Definitely, across the whole run.
Mm-hmm. I guess too.
Sure. This is clearly the weakest of the entire trilogy, and if I had to be honest, despite having technically a solid foundation, for a story in a vacuum, and still good jokes, if the first movie would have made me, switch the channel, if I watched it, if I actually had stumbled into this, I wouldn't have thought for 2 seconds before doing, because this is quite the mess. John already talked about the continuity problems, and I also elaborated as the commentary has been going on. It really feels like more of a case. I don't even know who is to blame between the writers or the executive at Universal. Someone clearly has to, but someone at some point watched the previous 2 movies, took notes and constructed a movie based on that. If it was done today, I would totally tell you this was done by an AI, because it kind of feels like it. Because it takes pieces of iconic imagery and plot elements from the previous 2 movies, mashes them together without too much of a cohesiveness, and pretends it's the status quo that has been going on. It kind of has the same vibe.
It does feel like they're pulling the greatest hits of Problem Child and compiling them into this prequel, which, if it were a reboot, that's fine, but this is supposed to be a sequel.
That being said, let me tell you the things that I still, genuinely enjoyed. Aside from, the jokes that did landed, the actual movie presentation in terms of appearance is fine. Like I said, a lot of TV movies, like the ones we commented on last year for Casper, you take a good look at them and you're like, yeah, this is clearly made for TV in terms of appearance. But here, the only thing that stands out that kind of way are the props being used. You definitely get that Goosebumps, Afraid of the Dark kind of vibe. But otherwise, the type of filming quality does actually more resemble one used for theatrical purposes, so they did a good job on that. Also, the acting is technically fine across the board. The child that they got to replace the original actor, like I said, is technically fine. The voice is slightly different, as you can hear, but it's still very close. The appearance is also slightly different. Like I said, I think his hair color is slightly brighter than the previous one, but they nailed with the idea of the side glance, of the smile, they definitely tried to get a kid that looked the closest and also could be coached into, having the same kind of, movement that the previous one had. So good on that. Much less Ben's replacement actor, but I guess at least he's not Steve Guttenberg. That has to count for something.
I think it was at that point where people were starting to realize that Steve Guttenberg was, well, not terrible, maybe a bit overrated.
Jova, according to The Simpsons, the Stonecutters put him in that place. But still, the other returning actor, Gilbert Gottfried, and Big Ben's actor, they definitely also are mostly the highlight of this, so there's fair. The scout camp leader, scout master of the camp, as the father of one of the kids and the antagonist of the movie, when it comes to the dad, is actually an interesting angle, particularly also the fact that, is an interesting case of an early for his time portrayal property of kind of an incel, but it doesn't feel like it's focused that much in terms of, having that kind of rivalry between him and Ben and, ultimately being taken down. It's part of a climax, so that's counts for something. But also the way that he's taken down, technically, winning the race for Ben and Junior is actually, the proper way. Probably could have beaten them, but it feels like they lack a bit of physicality. They just drop on the table of Big Ben and it's implied that he's gonna eat them. Sure.
I think I get what you mean.
It's a good gag, but I think the other two kids got it a bit better in terms of karmic punishment. And that goes also for the father, that's what I mean.
Yeah, in regards to that, I'll be honest, I thought that there was going to be a moment where Ben gets to not only punch out his dad's lights, but finally rise up to the sergeant dad.
We do get the psych spot of him, thinking of these people, including the sex worker, telling him, "You got no guts." So I was wondering if we're going to have to do something of him standing up and actually punching the lights out of him, but I guess not.
Alas.
Everything else, however, in the movie, I think is very weak. Particularly most of the female characters. Like the girl who Junior has a crush on is mostly just there to to be the prize, and at the end, the punchline is that she's too full of herself. Like I stand on what I said about Trixie in the previous movie. But I do believe that if a love interest had to be introduced, she still probably should have been more in line to that in both appearance, and potential behavior, which is something that this movie seems to be implying at the very end. So there is that technically. There is that. The psychiatrist is a can of worms that I already discussed. How much I'm not particularly fond of overall. The way things are handled with her, but. It's more of a case of this was, mid-90s, so there wasn't too much awareness, and it was, pretty standard for a character like her to be handled in terms of story, particularly also for the jokes that they... Now, the jokes that they do technically are fine, it's more the type of story they construct around that. That's how the movie is at the end of the day. It's technically fine, but definitely less than the first movie. I'm not particularly, as fond of these as the other two. Even the first one, it was a case of, sure, it's not for me, but it still stands up very well. In this, I can tell that, it has still moments like Gilbert Gottfried and a couple of other jokes, but it's definitely as bogged down.
So,
I wouldn't be too surprised if this was the reason why Universal just went quietly to the cartoon instead of making more movies.
So I'm guessing, like most people, 2 is the one you liked most.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
All right. I'm guessing the same thing for you, Jovan?
Oh, yeah, like I said before. How weird is that, too? The one that arguably is the most crass, right down to even the gross-out humor, still feels like the one with definitely the most dignity. Not to say that the first one didn't have dignity, but 2 definitely feels like it was the full package in how it balanced out stuff, how stuff was concluded. And yeah, I have to agree with Tio. Even though that's not what the movie was going for, I felt like Trixie had way more chemistry with Junior than Tiffany does. Oh my god, two blonde girl characters that Junior's tied with who both have names that start with a T. Again, might just be a coincidence, but it just feels so eerily weird with Tiffany in this one. And I can't even say that, they were trying to replace Trixie with Tiffany, because ultimately he doesn't even get together with Tiffany. Although, I'll be honest, we all kind of saw the twist with Tiffany coming, since it does reflect a lot of stuff you see on TV, which, well, I guess fitting enough. This was a made-for-TV movie. But like I said, in turn, it feels like an extended episode of a TV series rather than a movie epic in that regard. Because a lot of this does feel like a TV episode plot when you get down to it.
But I'm basically done.
All right, so Shiroi, your thoughts on the movie, the trilogy as a whole, and which one is your personal favorite?
All right. I think the last one's easiest to answer. The second one.
Yep,
that's the
general consensus.
Yeah, most people. That's the thing, Shiroi. Most fans that I've talked to will say they prefer the second one as above all the others, because it really is one of those cases where the second one really is the peak of the series. Go on.
I don't feel that the trilogy is completely consistent, because while this third movie does feel like a Problem Child movie, I feel like there weren't as many problems being caused by the Problem Child in this movie compared to the other two. Like, everything was pretty spaced out. There was a lot of downtime in this movie, and like there were some nice moments out of it, but in general, I feel like this movie was far tamer in terms of everything.
It's like I mentioned, it's a made-for-TV movie, and with television, there tends to be a lot more censors, so I got the feeling that they really toned things down for this one. And I guess, to be fair, we could argue it's part of Junior's arc that a lot of his troublemaking here is more reactive as opposed to him preemptively starting stuff. But
I suppose. Like, he does it when he's instigated, not just because, he can.
But in regards to it being tamer, I definitely do agree with you there, and I think that it's a result of this being a made-for-TV film where restrictions do be tighter that way, sadly.
And you can tell that it is a made-for-TV movie, not just because of that stuff, but because, like, the editing and the directing, like, there's a particular feel for made-to-TV movies, and this definitely has it. I'm not sure if you know quite what I'm talking about. But
I think I get what you mean. Like, we got cuts and like some of the crossfades or the fades to black here and there, like you would see in a TV
that kind of stuff.
Commercial breaks.
But that's what I think of the. I still think it's a good trilogy, but I do have some reservations about this movie. And this movie, I think it was still funny, for the majority of the time. Gilbert is obviously great.
Yeah.
He's just there to wreak havoc in his own way with an assistant this time. And God, if they're not married in the movie, then they're perfect for each other, I guess.
Truly has found someone who hates kids just as much as him to finally share his life with.
Aww.
That's sweet.
Now they can go off and never have kids together.
Hooray.
Watch them end up accidentally having a kid.
God. The granddad is great as well, as usual. I think the kid playing Junior was good. Like, he looks enough and sounds enough like him, so I don't think his smile is as much of a shit-eating grin as the original actor, but I still think he did a good job trying to replicate that stuff. The relationship between Junior and what was her name?
Tiffany.
Yeah, there we go. I feel like that was barely mentioned in the middle of the movie because Junior was doing all this stuff to the boys, but like it was never about paying attention to her, like, because she's in those scenes as well, and he sort of focuses more on them than her. So it just feels kind of weird to me.
It's like I said, that's an aspect you see in like TV episodes, which gives to me the feeling like this feels more like a TV episode stretched to movie-length proportions as opposed to like a movie tier plot of sorts.
Again, I still think it was very funny. The plot was fine. I don't know what else to say, really.
You think the movie was fine, but definitely a step down.
Yeah, I don't think it's that much of a step down. So, yeah, it just slightly falls short, I think, because I still enjoyed watching this movie. Just not as much as the others.
That's kind of how I am as well. Like, it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, it really, the problems are there, and I acknowledge them. But that being said, I'm fortunately capable of turning myself into, okay, I'm gonna switch my brain to problem child free mode, so I can just enjoy the movie in a vacuum. I shouldn't have to do that. Don't get me wrong, but I'll still take that over the movie being a complete pile of garbage. So.
Oh, Pedro, before your final thoughts about the woman who played Lily Duvan, the one that Tio mentioned, she was also in Golden Girls, Seinfeld, Hannah Montana. Star Trek The Next Generation, and I kid you not, 8 Crazy Nights, too.
Sure, that makes sense.
And that's it, really.
Yeah, basically. That's the basic idea. The movie is good, in a vacuum. As a Problem Child sequel, yeah, it does fall short. I will argue it still works good in terms of a lot of aspects, like Junior is still good, like the comedy is still good, not as good, but still good enough in my opinion. And like I said, there's a lot of great jokes in it that I love, so I still have fun. Yeah, I have to put myself in a specific mindset in order to enjoy this movie, because if you're coming in as a big fan of the second movie, yeah, you might be really ticked off by the fact that this movie basically negates the second movie, which is a shame. And trust me, like I said before, if you can get over that, I totally understand.
I think it goes even beyond that. I feel like it also negates some aspects from the first movie. Again,
yeah.
He has the bow tie again, even though he has renounced that because he should hate the serial bow tie killer now. And also, again, Ben going to his father for anything is just no. Like
and being
Ben had
to him.
Yeah, like Ben had pretty much renounced everything. His wife, his father, all that stuff in the first movie, especially in favor of Junior. And again, the fact that he buys into Peabody's nonsense, even though he called Peabody a charlatan in the first movie as well, too.
Yep. I still think the movie's good. I have to look at it in a vacuum. But like Tail would say, I'll still take that over a movie that has nothing to enjoy in it. So yeah, like this was an overall trilogy that I still really enjoy. Honestly, I think, like I said before, I would love for these kinds of movies to become a thing, like a popular thing again. Like, okay, maybe popular is not the right word. Like, I would like for this to become more of a subgenre again. Because I really enjoy.
But remember, Pedro, Disney tried to, Fox to an extent, tried to revive the Home Alone franchise.
Yeah.
But because it was basically a pile of garbage, apparently, I get the idea the genre is gonna take that for a bit. But like I kept saying, I think Universal would be having an easy way with Jason Blum. Like I said, it still beats wasting hundreds of millions of dollars for stuff that doesn't work, like The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. The third movie, I mean, and this is a trilogy that I still really love because not just because of nostalgia, but because I genuinely find these movies hilarious. And they're just good fun. If you just want to have some good old fashioned fun and not think about too much, and you just want to laugh, yeah, these are great movies to put on.
I'll give it credit. I was not expecting to care as much about this trilogy as I ended up caring about it.
Well, your problem with the way this movie handles continuity proves that you care. So,
but yeah, I mean, again, I had no idea what to expect. I was not expecting to like this trilogy as much as I did.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm definitely glad we
Deji
gave it
told me
a look.
Deji told me the same thing. When I introduced this trilogy to Deji, he had never heard of it, and he ended up really loving it as well. So, again,
I had heard of like the first movie. I didn't know that it was a trilogy, but still, I had just heard and seen a review of it. I really had no idea what to expect in the grand scheme of
I
stuff.
definitely do recommend, because Amazon has an import of it. Denmark has a Blu-ray pack of all 3 movies. That being said, again, and for I'm sure for people who don't like the third movie, there's also a only the first 2 movies variant. So those because there's actually quite a lot of fans that like to just think of this as a duology and pretend the third movie doesn't exist.
Continuity, nothing new.
Yeah,
I can't entirely blame them. I guess the only thing left is the TV series.
Interesting.
Maybe if one day when I have literally nothing else to pick, I'll pick that. But trust me, Joe, but the cartoon is not good at all. Let me put it this way too. I'll take the worst of this third movie over anything in the cartoon. I'll tell you that much.
Also, before we sign off, Pedro, we might as well try to honor what I actually, at least check out what they ask. Do you mind busting that 20-point checklist for a psychopath to see
okay.
what the protagonist is?
Oh, wait,
sure, let's do
before
that.
you do that, okay, I guess to correct myself, the series actually came out in 1993 and ended in 1994. So technically, the TV series came before the third movie.
Okay, is this doing the Aladdin King of Thieves thing in a sense that the in-between character development, and continuing characters happen in that?
All right, everybody, let's take a look at the psychopathy checklist. Okay, number 1, glib and superficial charm.
I think so.
Yeah, let's go.
Number 2, grandiose, exaggeratedly high estimation of self. Yes, definitely. Number 3, need for stimulation. Yes. Number 4, pathological lying. Yes.
Absolutely.
Number 5.
He got better at it, but he's still kind of had.
Number 5, cunning and manipulativeness. Yes.
Definitely.
Number 6, lack of remorse or guilt. I'm not sure.
The point is for him to actually gain these, so while he's not starting that, he actually improves, so no.
But that being said, does he feel guilt about hospitalizing the boys in the end?
Implying that he should? I'm not. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to go one of those.
That is the question, but let's put it.
Let me put it this way. At least with Blade. Blade was the first one to physically beat him, so I'm not going to feel sorry for Blade. I'll tell you that much.
Although, to his credit, he did also beat up kids who had nothing to do with Blade, or. Well, okay.
No, actually, all of them did. All of them did. It wasn't just Blade. So.
No. I'm talking about all the boys on Blade's hockey team.
Well, but okay, I might have to check the scene again, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't just Blade. They the entire team basically ganged up on him.
Or at least ridiculed.
Or at least most of them, at least. I mean, that wasn't just a Blade thing. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to say that. Number 7, shallow effect, superficial emotional responsiveness. Nah.
They tried. Well, remember the original rule was for Macaulay Culkin, so they do actually try to do that. But similar to point number 6, I argue it's more of a case of he starts like that, but he gets better on it.
And I will agree that at the very least, all the villains in this movie did have it coming. To give him credit on that.
All right.
So number 8.
Number 8, callousness and lack of empathy. Nah, I'm gonna. No.
He does have some of that, but not as much. I would argue, not compared to some of the other points.
Number 9, parasitic lifestyle. No. Number 10, poor behavioral controls. Yeah, that's the whole premise of the fucking franchise, so it has to. I mean, you wouldn't be much of a problem child if you didn't have this, right? So, sexual promiscuity, no. Like, he has a crush on a girl, that's just like, whatever. Number 12.
I guess unless we count him peeping in on those 2 teens absolutely whacking it.
No, it's it feels more like it's just there for a joke rather than being actually for his character.
Number 12, early behavior problems. Yes.
It's literally in the title.
Number 13, lack of realistic long-term goals. Not really, actually.
At the best drama, we don't know if it's like that or not.
Number 14, impulsivity.
Yes,
That's just...
He's literally a child. Yeah. It's a bit early for that.
It was a plot point in the second movie.
Number 15, irresponsibility. Yes.
Yes.
Number 16, failure to accept responsibility for own actions.
It's off and on.
On and off. On and off.
I feel like a lot of this is down to him literally being a child, not a psychopath.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, to be fair, Roy,
there are some exceptions because this is, a child that nobody could handle, but still, I think some of these could be chalked up to him being a child.
Yeah.
A child who was able to operate construction machinery and do acts that, in most cases, would normally murder a person. So, and keep in mind, Roy, that child has super strength.
I think there were some exceptions.
Here's another one that cannot apply. Many short-term marital relationships. No, this doesn't.
Yeah, obviously no.
Juvenile delinquency.
Yes,
Fucking yes. Yep. Number 19, revocation of conditional release.
No, we already discussed what this entails, but it's not.
Number 20, criminal versatility. Yes.
Yep.
So
how many?
11 points out of 20.
But that's the thing, Shiroi. Just wait till we get to Spirit Riding 3. Me and Tara have had quite a lot of talks about how many points Lucky hits in this thing.
Oh god, we're gonna commentate on that?
Oh yes, and it's gonna culminate with a Generations commentary of the movie too.
We're gonna do a Tangle type thing, Shiroi, basically. That's the basic gist of it.
Alright then.
Alright,
yes,
that's
that
it.
was the Problem Child trilogy.
I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did. Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Alright, see ya.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.